On to the last field of spring wheat, just getting the big drill filled up, the one my brother's running, and got a last load of seed for the year, just pulling into the field. Justin the man has got it on there, so we're just gonna get him backed in here and fill it up and get on our way. My brother's filling up his GBM sprayer at his water truck over there. He's done a few passes around the field, just getting another load, and then we're moving some of the tender trucks here to our staging spot. This one is a fertilizer truck. My brother got all the fertilizer he needed for the spring wheat, so we're parking it here for getting ready to seed canola in this field that my brother's spraying right now. So getting ready to switch crops. Hopefully we'll get that done later today. Gotta go grab the canola seed from the shed. Spring wheat planting is done. So now we gotta do a little manual labor and get all these bags of canola seed up here on the drill and get them ready to put in. So we found that it's easier to lift them up with the bucket tractor so you don't have to pack 75 bags of seed up all the stairs. So that's what we're doing. Luckily we had this tractor up here for pick and rock anyway. Brother just finished spraying this field, and I actually just finished top dressing a little fertilizer. So good things going on. Get some canola in the ground yet tonight. Out running the Patriot 4430 sprayer and spraying our winter wheat, kill the weeds and disease that are out here. You can see over here the spring wheat field that we seeded across the draw. The wheat's not up yet, but it's just about ready to poke through. It's been almost 3 weeks since we started seeding spring wheat when I was doing that field. And the field behind it actually too, when I planted that spring wheat. But the winter wheat's growing, and it's time to hit the weeds before we have row closure out here. So we want to make sure that that spray can get down through the canopy and do its job on those weeds down close to the ground. Beautiful day. Like I said, got some neighbors out spraying too, but it might be kind of hard to see in the middle of the picture there above that CRP strip. My brother is spraying down there in the center of the picture too in the flat, so got to take advantage of these nice spring days with a window of no rain, not very windy out, and no freezing temperatures or huge temperature swings a lot before or after. That's kind of what you need for ideally making your chemical work great and not hurting your wheat. But this winter wheat is just looking great out here. It's looking healthy, got a good solid stand. Most all of it came up pretty even in the fall. There was a few little patches that came up a little later where it was a little dry where the seed went in, but once the moisture came, they came along too. And I just love the view from my office today. You can see we've got 216 acres out of this field, spraying along at 13 miles an hour or so. Just spraying 10 gallons an acre today. And it says 55 pounds pressure. In reality, back at the booms, it's a little under 50. Just the way this pulse width modulation system on this sprayer works. You can see we've got, I think it's 36 nozzle sections, so we've got auto boom shut off as we go around corners. It compensates and starts firing more quickly on our NCVs that are in the corners. I'll have to see if I can get this filmed a little bit when you can see what it's doing, but we're running at 73 or so percent efficiency, meaning speed, the max speed that we can go. Coming up on the corner. I guess if I do slow down, you can see how it'll start turning off some of the nozzles as it gets into the overlap. You can see they start turning off, going from blue to white and on across the field. I can see on the horizon a neighbor moving a Patriot sprayer as well down the road across our fallow field over there. Everyone's getting busy today. So you can see we're going on an AB line. I have a line set up that's running east and west basically, and just keeping the perfect width away at the end of our boom from our last pass, 100 feet at a time, so that's really nice. And you can see if I slow down, the nozzles will show that they're firing less often. See the numbers going down in the 40s now versus going back faster. And then as I come into the corner, that's what I want you to kind of watch. The glare might be a little bit bad, but you'll see these nozzles down here. Each individual nozzle start shutting down as we get into overlap. You can see right there too how that's happening as we're going. It just starts turning them off as we go across. So pretty cool. Another pretty view spraying today. Got Craig Mountain up here with a little bit of snow still on it. And then we got the Snake River Canyon, the start of Hell's Canyon over here that we're spraying beside. So some cool topography. And you look far enough off, that butte is actually in Oregon. We're close to the Washington line over there, across the river, Idaho here, and Oregon in the far distance. I'm spraying, my brother's spraying. And I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing because I'm doing outside rounds. But just trying to get one more day of spraying in, that should get all the big wheat sprayed before the weather changes for a while, and then we'll have to wait for the rain to back off and weather to improve to get the rest of the wheat. Here comes my water resupply truck. So he's going to be taking it over there and pumping it into my tender truck. All right, last pass for this 280 acre field. My brother's spraying over on the horizon out on some points on the next field over with the GVM sprayer. Feels pretty good to get her done while there's still even snow up on the mountain. I think my neighbor with the Patriot across the way is just spraying their fallow. They got a little bit more regrowth than some of ours over there, but kind of fun to be working right across the front fence from another sprayer. I believe that they have the new Patriot 4450 that a few of our neighbors are getting. If you remember video from us demoing one last summer, we sure love them. They're fun to run. Got to run it in some garbs on a little demo, and just amazing how smooth it is. The number of acres you can knock out. They come with a 1,600 gallon tank versus ours is a 1,200 gallon tank, and they can come with 120 or 135 foot booms. So he's got quite a distance that he can cover as he's coming across the field. Pretty cool. And I've just been dodging rainstorms. I had to stop for a little bit because I was afraid it was going to rain, but it didn't amount to much, but there are a few drops anyway. Well, I got rained out, so I figured I'd take the semi up the draw and get a little water from our water tank back there. So I'm ready to go again when the weather straightens out. Just down here at our 10,000 gallon water tank, filling up a 2,500 gallon water tender. So we shuttle some water to our spray trailers. Just pumping it in. Started up the pump. We're filling up from our water tender truck, chemical truck, into our sprayer. Get my gloves on, glasses on. I got my long sleeve shirt on so I don't splash any chemical on me. But we're gonna mix up a little load. Yep. So one fun thing that we can do while we're doing field operations is use Field View. It's a app that you can put in your planters, your combines, your sprayers like we have here, and it's gonna map out all sorts of different things for you. We can plug in our different mixes in our sprayer, so if within our field we're using different mixes like we are in this one, it can map out the different things. You can see where it's coming into the corner I already sprayed and it starts turning it off. So that's kind of cool because I have these passes out here that kind of curve that we're going around. And it can map the different speeds and just all sorts of different things you can try at different rates, and then you can cross-reference it with your seeding data and your harvest data and figure out, if you have lots of little test plots, what worked the best. So you can see our pass is starting to mount up. We hadn't used it earlier in the field, but you might wonder, how does it know all this data when it's just an iPad sitting here wirelessly? Well, it's connected Bluetooth over here through this field view puck that is wired into our control computer that we have in this sprayer. So that's how it gets its data. You gotta grease these knee bushings on the Patriot fairly often. We try to do it every other load at least, if not more often, keeps them from getting wore out. There's several other grease searches you gotta do at least every day on this Patriot. Just some of the normal servicing besides checking the oils and that kind of stuff.